The Great War II. Europe plunges into war continues. Front bloody stalemate battle on the Western Front. The deadlocked stalemate region in northern France became known as the Western Front. The conflict grinds along. Facing a war on two fronts was the German plan. It called for attacking and defeating France in the west and then rushing east to fight Russia. Though German forces had swept into France and reached the outskirts of Paris, a major German victory appeared just days away. The Allies regrouped and attacked the Germans northeast of Paris, in the valley of the Marne River in, in the Battle of Marne 1914. The conflict grinds along. In the east, Russian forces had already invaded Germany. Realizing this, the German High Command sent thousands of troops from France to aid its forces in the east. Meanwhile, the war on the Western Front settled into a stalemate. War in the trenches. By early 1915, opposing armies on the Western Front had dug miles of parallel trenches to protect themselves from enemy fire. This set the stage for what became known as trench warfare. Life in the trenches was pure misery. The Western Front had become a terrain of death. It stretched nearly 500 miles from the North Sea to the Swiss border. New warfare tools. Military strategists were at a loss. New tools of war, machine guns, poison gas, armored tanks, larger artillery, had not delivered the fast-moving war they had expected. All this new technology did was kill greater numbers of people more effectively. Western Front battle continued. The Germans the Germans launched a massive attack against the French near Verdun Castle in 1916. Each side lost more than 300,000 men. The Battle of Somme. British forces attacked the Germans northwest of Verdun, in the valley of the Somme River. By the time the Battle of the Somme in 1916 ended, each side had suffered more than 500,000 casualties. What did the warring sides gain? Near Verdun, the Germans advanced about 4 miles. In the Somme Valley, the British gained about 5 miles. The Battle on the Eastern Front. Eastern Front. This area was a stretch of battlefield along the German and Russian border. Here, Russians and Serbs battled Germans and Austro-Hungarians. At the beginning of the war, Russian forces had launched an attack into both Austria and Germany. Germany counterattacked near the town of Tannenberg. The Germans crushed the Russians. The battle on the Eastern Front continues. Russian forces defeated the Austrians twice in September 1914, going deep into their country. Not until December of that year did the Austrian army manage to turn the tide. Austria defeated the Russians and eventually pushed them out of Austria-Hungary. Russia struggles. By 1916, Russia's war effort was near collapse. As a result, the Russian army was continually short on food, guns, ammunition, clothes, boots, and blankets. The light supply shipments to Russia were sharply limited by German control of the Baltic Sea, combined with Germany's relentless submarine campaign in the North Sea and beyond. In the south, the Ottomans still controlled the straits leading from the Mediterranean to the Black Sea. The Russian army had only one asset: its numbers. Russia struggles continues. Throughout the war, the Russian army suffered a staggering number of battlefield losses. Yet the army continually rebuilt its ranks from the country's enormous population. For more than 3 years, the battered Russian army managed to tie up hundreds of thousands of German troops in the east. As a result, Germany couldn't hurl its full fighting force at the west. Section 3. Global conflict. War affects the world. The main combatants looked beyond Europe for a way to end the stalemate. The Gallipoli campaign was a promising strategy for the Allies to attack a region in the Ottoman Empire known as the Dardanelles Strait. This narrow sea strait was the gateway to the Ottoman capital. War affects the world continues. By securing the Dardanelles, the Allies believed that they could take Constantinople, defeat the Turks, and establish a supply line to Russia. Allies attacked the Dardanelles in February and they gave up in December. They evacuated the area. They had suffered about 250,000 casualties. Battles in Africa and Asia. In various parts of Asia and Africa, Germany's colonial positions came under assault. English and French troops attacked Germany's 4 African possessions. They seized control of 3. Elsewhere in Asia and Africa, the British and the French recruited subjects in their colonies for the struggle. Fighting troops as well as laborers came from India, South Africa, Senegal, Egypt, Algeria, and Indochina. Some subjects volunteered in the hope that service would lead to their independence. This was the view of the Indian political leader Mohandas Gandhi, who supported India's participation in the war. America joins the fight. On May 7, 1915, a German submarine, or U-boat, had sunk the British passenger ship Lusitania. The attack left 1,198 people dead, including 128 US citizens. Germany claimed that the ship had been carrying ammunition, which turned out to be true. Nevertheless, the American public was outraged. America joins the fight. President Woodrow Wilson sent a strong protest to Germany. After 2 further attacks, the Germans finally agreed to stop attacking neutral and passenger ships. However, the Germans returned to unrestricted submarine warfare in 1917. In February 1917, another German action pushed the United States closer to war. Officials intercepted a telegram written by Germany's Foreign Secretary, Arthur Zimmermann, stating that Germany would help Mexico reconquer the land it had lost to the United States if Mexico would ally itself with Germany. America joins the fight. On April 2, 1917, President Wilson asked Congress to declare war on Germany. The United States entered the war on the side of the Allies. War affects the home front. The war had claimed the lives of millions and had changed countless lives forever. Governments waged total war. World War I soon became a total war. This meant that countries devoted all their resources to the war effort. Women and the war. Total war meant that governments turned to help from women as never before. Thousands of women replaced men in factories, offices, and shops. Women built tanks and munitions, plowed fields, paved streets, and ran hospitals. The end of the Great War Part 2.